Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the Little French Homestead. If you are new, my name is Sherry and we are going to be trying something very new to us today. It is a chicken risotto recipe. Now, I am trying the Gordon Ramsay recipe, so I'll go ahead and link that down below. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, in a Dutch oven, I do have some oil that's been heating up. And I didn't have any bacon that was thawed or anything like that, but I did have some bacon juice, the grease from previous time. So I added that in there so I could still go ahead and give it to that bacon flavor that this recipe was requiring. But if you don't have it, you can certainly leave it out. Then what we did is I added one large finely diced onions, and then we've added a couple of tablespoons of butter. Now, like I said, I am going to go ahead and link that recipe down below. This was actually a very simple and a very easy risotto. Now, you do see here in a few moments that I have 6 chicken thighs, skin on and bone in. And what happened is I did go ahead and stick them in the risotto as it was all cooking, and it was getting too hard for me to go ahead and mix everything all up, because if you do know a good risotto, you need to have it's got to be stirred constantly. And I wasn't quite getting that with this. You can't really stir it in there. So I did cook the chicken in the wine with the risotto and then the chicken broth, getting that all up. You saw me just a few minutes ago, and I added in some diced, or mine was minced, but the garlic cloves. You want to get that really nice aroma going. But what happened is I couldn't mix it very well. So I put my oven on broil, and I finished them off. The temp was probably about 120 when I had pulled them out. So I finished them off in the oven, and then we got a really, really great crisp on those chicken thighs, and it was absolutely divine. We had a daughter. My daughter had one of her friends over, and she's like, none of us in our family has ever had risotto. We don't get out much, but she absolutely loved it. Everybody in the family really, really enjoyed this meal. My son, who is a picky eater with rice, really, really enjoyed the risotto. So that's going to be a little bit more of a staple. You do see in a little bit, or in the back, you can see that I have a very big container of it. And this recipe only calls for a cup and a half of risotto. So clearly we're going to be making this several more times. The next time I do make it, I will go ahead and not add the chicken actually into it. And in all fairness too, my broth is my homemade turkey broth. So I have a whole bunch of turkey broth that's left over from my big batch cooking. And I went and did, like I said, turkey. I didn't have any chicken broth, and I wasn't about to use powdered chicken broth or anything like that with this recipe, especially since this is supposed to be a luxurious rice meal. And I didn't want to add a not very high quality chicken broth to it. So like I said, I only had the turkey, so I added turkey broth to it, which is actually, it really tasted very well. You still can't really taste any difference to it. You do see here on my left that the broth is now coming back up to a boil. I had boiled it, and then until I got ready, I had turned it down because I didn't know how fast All of this was going to come together in the meal, so I really wanted to make sure that broth was nice and hot. I don't know about you, but I've watched a lot of Hell's Kitchen, and I just keep hearing them. The risotto's not cooked enough. The risotto's not cooked, so I'm like freaking all out here in my head thinking that. So you always want to make sure that you have hot broth that is, I mean, if you're a vegan, you can most certainly use, a vegetable stock right here along with the rice. Obviously, you do not have to add the chicken inside it or the bacon oil. Everything all else you really can go ahead and take care of on that own. And I just kept hearing in the back of my mind, Gordon Ramsay flipping out. So I really wanted to make sure that that stock was really, really nice and hot. And you can see here, you're supposed to add, like a ladle or so, add a little bit of time, stir it, baby it, mix it. And that's exactly what I did. Now you see here that the chicken is out of it. I did get all of the risotto off the chicken. I still had enough broth in there, so I wasn't bringing that. And then we got just some simple canned peas in the background for our dinner. This did actually, again, come together so easy. I just can't believe this, like 20-30 minutes tops. The risotto really takes 20 minutes. You really have to sit there and kind of baby it. You got to be stirring it. And then you let it cover and rest. Now, once your risotto is really good, again, you want to taste this. You really want to make sure you have enough salt in there. I did taste this. I did have to add a little bit of salt at 2 separate times. You want to add 1 more tablespoon of butter. You saw me sliding that up just a little bit. Some Parmesan cheese and some parsley. Now, I have dried parsley, and I just had this bag of shredded Parmesan cheese, and I wasn't running to the store to go and get a block of cheese. But obviously, I know the block of cheese would be so much better. It's going to bring you that little bit of rich creaminess to it. You don't add any pepper to this, but I done like I said, a couple of taste tests, and it was superb. Now, after you add all that in, you want to stick the lid on for about 5 minutes because you want it to rest. Once you go ahead and rested it, then you want to go ahead and serve it. Now, what I did is I had put it on my plate. I put the risotto on the bottom. I placed my chicken on top, and I got a little bit of peas on the side. Now, I usually like to go ahead and drain out the water of my peas, and I will add a little bit of salt and pepper to my peas. It just gives it a nice little crunch. Now, look how delicious and golden brown those chickens are. Like I said, it was on broil. So I just want to say thank you so much today for visiting my home. I really do appreciate everybody who watches me. And I just want to say like, share, but most importantly, go ahead and subscribe. Throw on that notification button to have you be alerted to make sure that you get all of my videos. I will pop a couple extra videos up on the side. And again, thank you. This meal, this meal again with everything was super delicious. And these chicken thighs, I have to cut myself off before I say goodbye. These chicken thighs were so juicy. I even had my daughter, who's not a big fan of chicken thighs, really sit there and said, Mom, you got really, really good on that. So again, I just want to say thank you so much. You have a great evening and keep on cooking. Bye, y'all.